Alright, what's up, you lovely people? Caleb is back with another video, and today we're going to be breaking down why, if you run any sort of paid advertising, why an appointment setting team and an outbound team still makes sense. Alright, so here's an example that is very common. Let's say that you're running paid ads right now, and you're in the agency space, you're in Cairo, you're in gyms, you're in medical, whatever your niche is. Let's say you're running paid ads. And let's say that on a good day, you're getting about $100 per lead right now. And that's for a direct to offer lead, signs up, phone, email, full name. Okay, so we're spending about $100 per lead. Now, one of the most important metrics that we always look at is what is the lead to appointment ratio. Right? Because what I found is that even with the agency space and us getting leads, and we tell our clients to call leads, but we don't call leads ourselves, at least most of us don't, we tend to just get a lead and think that the whole process is going to go from lead to they're going to book a call, and they're going to show up, and they're going to buy. And that's the whole process, A to Z. But what happens usually is that they come in, they start the process as a lead, let's say, or they start out by finding out who you are, you pique their interest, and then they become a lead, somewhere in this line. And then let's say that they sign up, they put in their information, but you don't properly follow up with them, which means you don't call them within 5 minutes, you don't call them more than 6 times, you don't have a rigorous follow-up process, right? And you end up converting from lead to appointment, and that process right there is only converting about 20%. Right? Let's say that you're only converting about 20 to 30%. So by having a lead to appointment conversion ratio, a 20% conversion ratio, if you're spending $100 per lead, it's going to cost you $500 per appointment because you're only converting 20% of those leads into appointments. Okay, and that means that if you're closing at 20%, which is very average, then your cost per acquisition is $2,500. Now, depending on your offer, this might make sense, right? If you're selling a very high ticket offer, then $2,500 is not bad for a CPA. But still, you could either make it better, right, and get more of the volume for the same cost, or you could do this second part of things, right, which is what happens when you add a phone to the process and an appointment setter. Let's say that you get $100 per lead right now, same exact cost per lead, but instead of converting 20%, you're converting 40% of those leads into appointments. That cuts your appointment cost in half, so from $500 to $200, and that cuts your cost per acquisition in half as well. And most agencies, if you're looking at this model right here, you guys are rarely closing at $2,500 in cash collected. From my experience, it's usually about, if you're selling about $1,500 retainer, you're in the whole 1,000. So for this to really make sense, you want to at least break even on your acquisition cost. And by just adding a phone to the process and an appointment setter, you're able to close at $1,250. And that cuts your acquisition in half. With the same closing rate, same everything, same cost per lead. The only thing that changes here is your conversion from lead to appointment. So that's one of the metrics that we look at when building an outbound team. But there's a lot of things, right? This is just one metric that we look at. There's also the appointment book to show up ratio. There's also the latter half, right? If you look at what comes before a lead, right? What's the cost per click, things of that nature. So either way, if you're running paid ads, you don't believe in organic, it's still important to build an outbound team. Make sure that you're protecting either your time or your closer's time and following up, making sure that the leads are going to show up. By adding a phone to the process, it also increases your show-up rate. If you have people calling, reminding, you have the right scripting to make sure that they're wanting to show up to the next call, that's going to increase everything with your conversion. So right now we're finding, just to end this video off here, you might be asking yourself, well, what's the cost of an appointment setter? Is it worth being able to improve my conversions? Well, it is, because we're finding people for about $3 to $6 an hour, USD. So it's about $6 an hour. And instead of paying them a high base, right, we kind of cut their base in half, and we make the other half of their salary or their pay performance based. which means that if they don't perform, they don't get paid the other half. And so this is a very scalable model. What I prefer to do is just pay them per call that's shown, that they book, right? Because they can't, we have some clients wanted to pay 5% per close and cash collected. But the only thing about this model is that, it takes a certain breed of people to take this offer. And also it's not truly fair for them, right? Because they're not the ones responsible for closing. And so they're kind of relying on outside sources for them to make money. So the only thing, the very last thing that they can handle and that they're in control of is going to be the calls that show that they book. So we generally tell them to just pay out $25 to $35 per call that shows. And that way you protect your risk if they don't perform, but also you compensate them if they do their job well. All right, and this is how the numbers play out. All right, if you guys have any questions or you would like us to show you how we're building outbound teams for agencies and how it's, I believe, the most cost-efficient way to book appointments and have them steadily on your calendar, shoot me a DM. More than happy to talk. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.